good. All right. Um, let's see here. I'm trying to do something new here, so hang with me. Let's see. And let's see. I'm trying to get this in on Facebook. So because we always have more people than space on these things. And see how it works. Oh goodness. Okay, there we go. We've got it. Let's see. All right. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't done this one before. And we've got yes. Live. Okay. All right, I'm going to check. Because I'm using a new system, I'm going to check to see if I can see all the chats. Good. Beautiful. And while I'm getting things going, I would ask if you don't already have it on your screen, if you haven't typed it by your name, would you put in the chat where you're from, even just what country you're from? That would be lovely, because look at all of you. We have so many people from so many countries all over the world here today, and this is just incredible. So just say hi to everybody while I'm getting this thing to show up on my screen, and we'll see what happens. At least I think it is. I don't know. Goodness gracious. I don't see it. Well, anyway, I don't want to take up all of your time, so if we can't get it to do, we can't get it to do, but let's see. It says it's streaming. I don't see it. I apologize. I hate when people do this. And now I'm doing it. Let's over here. I just want to make sure everyone is able to see. Okay, well, it says it's live, so there we are. Yay! All right. I have all of you muted, at least I think I do, for now. And we will get into discussions in the second half of the portion of the program, okay? For those of you who are brand new to me or to the STAR teachers, our usual format for these free live global broadcasts is I give just a little hello, then we do a tiny breathing practice so that we can all become coherent. Then the STAR teachers come on, and usually there's no fanfare, there's no prelude or anything. They just come on and they sound kind of like me, only they may speak a little bit more succinctly than I do. They're a little less fluffy than I am. But they'll have a message for everyone, and then what they tell me they're going to do today is put you through a process where there's going to be integrations, there's going to be upgrades, and you know, healing for people who need healing. Everybody's going to get what they need personally. It's kind of a custom thing, so just hang in there, and then, you know, it's kind of a guided journey. They'll be giving us a lot of support energetically while they're talking, and then also through the guided journey. So you may start to feel something. Some people are like really sensitive, and they may feel temperature changes. They may feel things going on with their with their bodies. They may get, you know, some of their clair activities may start coming up. Oop, hang on here. Now I've got something else going on. Oh, goodness. Let's see. How do I do this? There. Okay. Sorry. Still new to that part. So you may notice changes while we're talking and then during the guided journey, or you may not. Everybody's different, but just know that everyone's getting what they need. And then in the second half of the program, once they bring you back, once you're grounded a little bit and everything, then that's the interactive part where we will use the raised hands function. For those of you who are new, there's just a little in the, I believe it's in the participants part. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But there is a raised hands kind of function where you just, you know, raise your hand and they will still be talking. I'm usually not present, but they use my body. And so I will just be, you know, using that raise hands function. They'll call on people and unmute the person who is next to ask a question. So I ask that you don't unmute yourselves just because it causes a lot of cacophony. With as many people as we have on here, it can get really noisy and very, it just gets real muddy. So keep yourselves muted until I unmute you or they unmute you or whatever. So you can ask any question you like. It can have to do with what the message was or what you felt during the session, or it might even be something out of, you know, context to what we've been talking about today, but that's all okay. And there are no holds barred on this. So you can, you know, allow yourselves to, you know, ask whatever questions you want, and then we'll kind of wrap up. This is being recorded, so if you do not want your face to be shown, there is a little video icon where you can click and put stop video. You can still be heard, but there won't be, your face won't be on camera, okay? So, and for those of you who are calling in by phone, I see a couple already. There are some who joined by phone. If you want to ask a question, that's a little more difficult because I can't see you and I'm usually not looking at the chats. But if we get enough time, I will go into the chat to see if there's anyone who wants to ask a question in the chat. If you don't get your question answered, please type it in the chat because I get the chat log back at the end on the recording, and I can go in and have them answer your question afterwards and send that answer to you. Okay? Everybody cool with that? All right, so I'm gonna turn this part off over here on this other monitor because it's wigging me out to see myself in two places at once. And basically, just want to say welcome again. Thank you for being here. I know it's a weekend and it's hard for everybody. I also feel bad and I want to apologize publicly to some of the groups who have their normal monthly gatherings at this time. And we've had overlap today. I apologize for that, but the teachers always tell me the date and the time of these broadcasts, and I always just do it because they know when there is the perfect energetic window for the information and the upgrades to come through. So my apologies to my friends on the other side of the world who are doing some really powerful work too today. And thankfully we're recording, so if you have to leave to jump off, Joey, I know you're one of them. If you have to jump off and get to that other thing, then thank you for being here as much as you can. And thankfully we're all recording, so we can look at each other's things. All right, so let me look one more time here. So we have someone from Lithuania, Buenos Aires, Lithuania, London, Philadelphia, Pleasant Valley, Missouri, close to me, Warwickshire, UK, more Kansas City people, Copenhagen, Wisconsin, Illinois, more Missouri, Texas, Florida, Vegas. Oh my gosh, Arizona. This is amazing. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. I feel very blessed to be able to offer this to you. And if you hang till the end, or if you're listening to this before noon tomorrow, which would be August 2nd, I will be also offering a free meditation worldwide via the Souls Intuit Master Group that I'm part of. And I will be posting right after this, I will be posting the link to that so that you can join that as well. I hope that you'll join us then if you can, because it's the precursor to a big workshop that the Star Teachers and I are going to be doing on the 15th. So I hope you'll do that. All right, so I'm going to change in my view here so we can, at least I think I can change my view. Oh, goodness. All right, here we go. For some reason, all I see is one person, so, and it's not me. That's interesting. Don't want to hide. Speaker view. Okay, well, we're just going to go with it because I have no idea what's happening on this screen. I'm looking at a really big screen for once, so which is wonderful, but it's new to me. All right, so everyone, if you will, let's begin with just getting a little bit more settled, more centered and balanced, and then we're going to do a tiny bit of breath work to get our sympathetic nervous system slowed down so that we can kind of go into a theta state, because it's really important that we bring ourselves up in as high a vibration as we can to be able to meet them at least in the middle. The teachers bring their vibration down as low as they can without getting, pulled down into the tar pit of where we are today, so that they can, so that we can interact. But it's up to us to raise our vibration, and we need to raise our vibration as much as possible anyway. So if you will, get nice and cozy, nice and relaxed. You can turn your lights off, you can close your eyes, you can lie down, whatever you want. But we're going to start with a couple of simple breathing exercises. For those of you who are on the phone, what I'm doing is I'm holding up my right hand with my thumb and pinky finger lifted. My middle three fingers are down. So it's kind of like the Hawaiian mahalo, hang ten kind of thing. But what we're going to do is we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. And what this does is it allows you to breathe in through one side of the nose, breathe out, breathe in through the other side of the nose, breathe out, and it balances the two hemispheres of the brain. It also begins to balance the Ida and Pingala, the male and the divine male and the divine feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine sides of your energy bodies. It's going to bring us into what we call as yogis the Sushumna channel, the middle path. And then we're going to do a sipping breath, which will bring that energy up through our chakra system, through that middle path, activate the pineal gland, and then we'll be more receptive to the information that's coming through. So we're just going to tune our radio tuners just a little bit, okay? So again, right hand, whether you're left-handed or not, just raise your right hand, middle three fingers down, thumb out, pinky out, and you're just going to take your thumb and press it lightly against the right nostril and take a deep breath in, as deep as you can, through the left nostril. Breathe in. And then take your pinky finger, close off the left nostril, open the right nostril, and breathe out slowly and fully. Really empty that air out. Take your time. Now breathe in through the right nostril. All the way. Close the right nostril with the thumb, open up the left, breathe out. Breathe in deeply through the left. Close the left, open the right, breathe out. All the way. Breathe all the way in through the right. Close the right, open the left, breathe out slowly. Breathe in through the left. Close it, breathe out through the right. Close your eyes if you like. Breathe in through the right. Close it, breathe out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. Breathe in through the left and then just go on your own for a while. Listen to the sound of your breath. If you get lost, just start over again. Let this be your last round. And when you're finished, relax your hand down back in your lap and breathe naturally through both nostrils, eyes closed, body relaxed. Take a few moments to notice if you feel any changes, any differences, even though they may be slight or grand. Remember to unfurrow your brow, relax your jaws, roll your shoulders down your back and relax the body. And without opening your eyes now, what I'd like for you to do is to look up to the center of your brow between your eyebrows, eyes closed, but look up into that space with your eyes raised behind your eyelids. For some, this might seem very uncomfortable, so only do it for as long as you can. This elicits a beautiful physiological response in the body, in the brain. Gets you deeper into the brainwave state that we'd like. This also stimulates the vagus nerve and allows us to relax and stay focused. You can relax your eyes back down whenever you feel you need to, but if you can keep them up, you might enjoy this next breath practice a little more, because we're thinking about pulling breath up through the tube of the spine into the pineal gland, which is in the center of the brain at the top of the head, right behind that spot where we're looking. And so this next breath is called the sipping breath. Some of you might call it the straw breath. And what you're going to do is relax your face, but make a small O with your lips, like you're sucking through a straw. You're going to breathe in audibly, but very full and deep through the straw, like this. You're going to hold for a moment, and then as you exhale, don't force the breath, just let it come out gently through that O until it's gone. You won't hear it probably. And then when you're ready to take another breath, breathe it in through the straw. Feel the coolness of the air coming down the middle channel. Pause at the top, and then exhale naturally through that straw or that opening. You can keep looking up with your eyes closed. And just continue on at your own pace and in your own way until I tell you to stop. And when we stop, we're going to breathe naturally again with eyes closed for a few moments with the eyes relaxed. If any of you would like to draw up on Mula Bandha, the perineum, lifting the pelvic floor and squeezing the belly, Uddiyana Bandha, at the top, pause for a moment. That'll give an extra squeeze to the energy up to the pineal gland. But it's not necessary, only if you want to try it. Maybe one more cycle and then relax everything and just meditate for a moment or two on how balanced and centered you might now feel. And then if you will, let's all set a group intention for a beautiful experience for ourselves and for the world. And that we all receive exactly what it is that we need, what we require and desire for the highest and the greatest, the most harmonious good. And in Lakesh, we are the teachers. We welcome you, and we are so happy to see that you're here. Thank you for joining us today as our partner translates and allows her voice to be our voice, her hands to be our hands. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. We thank you from the deepest place of our heart for being here. Today is a very important energetic portal. And it's no mistake that all of you who are here together. Each of you have special gifts and specific properties within your soul signatures, your personality signatures, that are needed to help bring this energy and this information through at this time for you and the world. And so we thank you. Today we'd like to broach the subject that many people have been asking us about. It's on everyone's mind on the planet Earth right now, in this time of your focus. And that is this global virus, this pandemic that has changed everything in a mere few months. It has changed everything. The way you work, the way you recreate, the way you socialize, the way you do everything. Most of you who are here more than likely have an inkling of the idea that there is more to this than some thing that is moving around the earth in the air, making people sick. We want to tell you, congratulations, you are right. We've given hints about it in the past, but today we feel you're more ready to understand and accept this information and embrace it and use it for the greatest good. What is this virus? What is it? Well, we can tell you that it was a very planned agenda, part of the ascension agenda for human beings. How do we know this? Because it's part of how we became who we are today. How you respond to this situation and everything that is related to it, and everything is, via quantum entanglement, the way you respond to it is how you actually accomplish what it is you want to accomplish, which is attaining the escape velocity of this density and moving up in your own vibrational frequency and sustaining that vibrational frequency to a higher level of life. One that does not include the very rudimentary constructs of this place in time, such as duality, karmic patterning, negative emotions, competitiveness, dis-ease, and lack. How can this be, you ask? How can something that is so devastating and so seemingly insidious be a gift, be a technology? Well, look at some of your other technologies. In the dual nature of the third density, planet Earth world, life reality where you are focused now, you have many technologies, and they are two sides of the same coin. You have something that was once thought a revolutionary idea called the combustion engine. When that was invented, that technology came around, and the invention of the automobile and other petroleum-based engines literally changed the way everyone lived on the face of this earth, including the plants and the animals, including the oceans. It was a true revolution. Everything changed. And there was a lot of resistance to that change because people were afraid. People were afraid for the blacksmiths, for instance, who spent their lives forging iron to shoe horses who drew all the carriages that people rode around in and transported their goods in. What will those people do? Well, they became iron workers and they built automobiles. But in the short-sightedness of human behavior, people were deathly afraid of this at first. And then they saw all of the positive implications of that technology. The combustion engine was an amazing invention. What most humans didn't foresee were the other side of the coin. You know, the waste products that come from burning fossil fuels, which has now put your planet in a seemingly perilous condition, ecologically. That's one technology. Look at the nuclear industry. A seemingly clean energy source that could power cities and whole countries. And yet, the other side of the coin is radiation poisoning and danger, and a lack of place to put the waste products. We even think about the internet, which is the training ground for all of you to become completely coherent and telepathic the way most of the rest of the cosmos lives. At the flick of a button, at the click of a mouse, you can have any piece of information answered, any question answered. You can see each other's faces. You can speak to each other real time all across the globe. You can even speak to people on the space station, up in orbit around your planet, if you wish. This in just a few short decades from when the major mode of speaking to each other than face-to-face and verbally was the rudimentary telephone. The other side of the coin is people feel alienated. They also feel a little bit anonymous and brave enough to not have banners when they're interacting with others. And what you have seen in the last couple of years, but especially this last few months, are the real negative implications of that coin, that technology, where people's emotions and nervous systems and minds and hearts are so on edge because they are afraid and confused and off-center because of the situation in the world. They do nothing but spend all day fighting with people that they used to really care for on their screens and in real life. So technology in the third density, just like everything else, has a dual nature. And it's no different than this virus that you have called COVID-19. Please remember that all of life, all of creation, is nothing more than different rates of oscillating energy. It's all the same energy, all oscillating at different rates of frequency to take different forms. It's all the same energy. It's all in motion, just moving at different rates of velocity. If we understand that, then this virus is nothing more than information. All energy is information. Food is information. Speech is information. Everything is information. The very blood that is in your veins right now is nothing but a stream of encoded information. Your DNA strands, highly encoded informational strands. This virus, along with all other viruses and bacterium and everything that lives, has a very important purpose. At the top of it all, this virus was meant as an informational packet to be received at specific moments in each unique human's lifespan, in this particular moment of your time, in this reality. Each person who raised their vibration to a certain extent where they could actually have the capacity to receive this in such a way that it became an upgraded packet of information for you to move you forward on the ascension process. Each person was going to be doing that at their own rate and in their own pace. However, because this is the third density and it's Earth life, and humans are very quirky, there were a few humans who decided, once they discovered it, that they were going to, well, they discovered a piece of it, and they were going to manipulate it and use it for other things. The original intent was honorable. We want to say that. But some people lost their way. They didn't follow certain protocols, and the virus became mutated and released not according to the schedule that was intended. And it was released globally. So, this is why you see so much suffering. This is why you see people leaving, transitioning their bodies early. And please know it's all still in the overall flow of divine plan, because the variables are always moving and evolving. But the greatest probability of the main agenda was to have everyone receive this packet of information, this upgrade packet, at the perfect time for them, when their bodies could utilize it perfectly. Part of the information that comes to you through this packet are enhanced capabilities. Even if you are a highly gifted spiritual soul in this human body, in this time of your reality, you would, after having received this packet, wake up one day to realize you have lots of superpowers you had no idea even existed. And that the world was changing rapidly because you were perceiving from a different set of lenses than before. However, because of this interruption, or this interference, we should say, many people have been receiving it without their bodies being properly attuned. This is still not regrettable, because all is learning. And in all of creation, everything that you experience is always for the greatest good. Sometimes the outcomes just don't happen the way you thought they would, including the way we thought they would. But we're here to tell you that you survive it. You survive it even if this body lets go of its existence in this time. Because there is no death. There's only change of form and rate of oscillation of your energy. You may have known people or heard of people who left very suddenly after only being exposed to this information packet for a day or two, or maybe after several weeks. People who were otherwise very healthy and didn't fit the criteria of a person who succumbs to such a dis-ease. It's because in their personal agenda, their desire of the soul level was to leave and move up into the higher frequencies to assist those who are dealing with this now in this one. It is all on purpose, and there is nothing to be sad about other than humans are just very uncomfortable with change, especially sudden change. Now, what to do about those who are suffering because the body that they are in was not prepared well to receive this information packet. It's like getting too much electricity in a wire. It burns them out. It is misguided energy. What can we do about that? Well, each person gets the information in the packet on how to use the technology. But some people are just not awake enough to pay attention to it yet, or they're very resistant. And that is part of their path and their learning. We must allow that to happen, but we shouldn't just needlessly go around saying, oh, you decided to have that, or you decided to get that, or it's not my problem. Part of your job is to be of as much selfless service to others as you possibly can. Taking care of yourself and making sure that your body, but especially your frequency, your vibrational state, is of such a clean, pure, high state that you can easily assimilate the information coming in. Because please know, it's coming into everyone now. Most of you on this call right now already have either received it or are receiving it, and you will never know other than you will start to feel more awakened. You will start to be more and more and more in a synchronous type of life with everyone around you. You will start to want to give more. You will start to have interests of a higher nature, even if you've spent your whole life in a spiritual pursuit. Remember, we're all merely scratching the surface of all of this work, even us. So, we encourage you to do what feels best to you, to always keep your inner eye on the vision of what it is you would like to create. What kind of life do you prefer? For remember, the more you focus on something, be it a thought, a situation, a person, an idea, the more of that you are given. It's more of that you are creating. You are completely 100% responsible for your reality. Take it or leave it. It's the truth. So, if you spend all of your days bemoaning the fact that the world is going to hell in a handbasket, that nothing is the same, that you're bored, that you're destitute, that you're sick, that you're angry, that this person did this and this person did this and this group is trying to take over and this group is trying to oppress us, and this is what we're going towards, a dystopic, apocalyptic finish to the human race very quickly because of greedy, power-mad people. That's what you're going to get. You give yourself what you focus on. Please hear that. What you focus upon the most is what crystallizes as your manifested reality in this focus of your life. So, what do you prefer? You prefer a world that comes out on the other end of this very quickly, by the way, if you all come together and work as one, accepting each other's differences, not as differences, but as variances and gifts that mesh with each other, that dovetail with each other so that you can work better together. If you work together and have a collective vision of a world like we describe how we live, full of harmony, creative pursuits, love, coherency, no competition, no danger, no confusion. If you want that world, start to behave like you are living in it. Behave like you're living in it. Feel it in your heart. Notice it in all the little things and the large things around you from day to day. And we assure you that there is proof of that everywhere. Even if you are in your most dire moment, try to become more and more conscious of the goodness and the divinity spark in what is going on around you and in the people around you. Even those who seem the most evil have that divine spark within them. Use your inner gifts to see it, and then send love and flame that fire. Fuel it. See it enlarge in their hearts. See it enlarge in a situation. If you're in a situation that seems violent or controversial or confrontational, send love. Be the center of peace. Do not react. Respond with love. Now, we're not going to tell you how to live, but we are going to tell you how you do it. Because you're our ancestors. We like to call you our future ancestors. And you already did it. That's why we're speaking to you now. Because you created us with what you did in this time of your focus. We understand that it might be foreign to you to live this way. Do some of you remember the first time you were taught how to sit in a meditative posture? Sit up straight, head held high, shoulders back and down, lifting up through the center channel of the body, relaxing everything, closing your eyes and shutting out all those thoughts of the world and just being in a peaceful place. How long were you able to maintain that, if you even got there the first time? Half second? 2 seconds? It felt very uncomfortable. And after a couple more seconds, your body started to wiggle and scream, oh, my knees don't feel good like this, or oh, my neck doesn't feel right. I'm not used to having my chest up and out. But if you practiced it, even for a minute or two every day, the body began to find a new place of comfort, a new zone of recognition. And pretty soon, if you practiced it enough, you couldn't sit the other way, all hunched over, head down, heart closed, mind a whir. That's what this is. This is just a walking, talking, living meditation, and that's the way you should be living 100% of the time. Conscious, focused, balanced and sustained self-awareness. So, the practice is to be more and more conscious of your reactions. Hopefully, the more you practice, they become responses to what is happening in your world. Even in your meditations, even in your quiet times, even in your dreams. But that's for another topic at another time. What we want to tell you is you do it. Don't take our word for it. Just experiment and see if the world starts to change for the better around you. Experiment. On the worst day of next week, take a couple of minutes every hour to sit in silence and breathe deeply and envision the world that you want to live in. See all the people around you living in that world in peace and happiness as well, and health and abundance. And then send love and wrap it all up in that love. Sit with it, feel it in your body as much as possible. Give it all the sensory input you can. And then watch to see if your day changes even a little bit for the better. You might be surprised just how powerful you really are. And so, we'd like to tell you, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Because we know you do it, because we are. Because we live, and we are here to remind you. We are all interwoven, and we echo throughout each other's lives, no matter what dimension or frequency or layer of being we're focused on. You are as a parent to us as we are to you right now. Be fearless. There is nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. There is no death. There is only change. And change is what makes existence beautiful and exciting and filled with wonder. Be the explorer that you really are. Be the healer that you are. Be the light worker that you know you are. Be the blessing that you wish to see in the world. So at this time, we're going to ask that you get as comfortable as possible so that you can receive the energy that is coming in to help readjust your own systems to receive this energy packet in the way that it was originally intended. And if you are feeling off physically today, or have been, this should help. This should help realign you back with a body that feels better, back with a mind that is clear and peaceful. So find yourself in a comfortable position. Because the way that we do this is by offering it as a guided journey. We will be taking you through something that you can use your imagination, which is the biggest, most important gift that you own, other than your heart. This is your creative principle. It is your point of power. And so we ask you to give everything that comes into you, verbally and energetically, the most sensory input you can muster. As we describe this journey to you, see in your mind's eye what we're talking about. Hear, smell, taste, feel the textures, smell the fragrances, and lock all of this input into your body, because this will vibrationally assist the work. You will be receiving not just the upgrade that was intended from this energy packet, but upgrades to help you hold the capacity and keep the focus and utilize this information for the greatest good, transforming you, transforming your world. Thank you for being here and going on this journey with us today. It's the easiest way we know how to give you the inoculation that is needed, the rewiring that is most necessary. So relax your eyes. Become very, very quiet. And allow the music in the background, which also has specific vibrations, to help you become more and more relaxed, more centered, in a place that feels wonderful to you. If you wish to allow the breath to become deeper and slower, go right ahead. If you wish to change your posture, go right ahead. Do what feels right to you. And we would ask that you, in your mind's eye, in your imagination, bring yourself to a place, a natural environment that is beautiful, sensual, peaceful to you, safe and protected. It can be a place you've been before, or it can be a place in your imagination that you think about, or that you dreamed about, or that you saw in a movie or a book. Go there now and allow yourself to rest comfortably there. And listening to this beautiful music and to the sound of our partner's voice, let these sonic vibrations be the carrier wave for the information, the upgrade, the healing that is to take place. Stay open, dear ones. Be in the state of flow. That's everything. And so now that you have your setting, take a moment to really draw it in with all your senses. What are the colors, the textures, the fragrances? Is there something to touch? Is there something to taste? Let each thing take on a vibration of the highest proportion and take that into your own sensibility, your own field. Relax deeply here. This is a place that you can go as often as you like, even for a couple of breaths when you need to realign with what is needed to fine-tune yourself, to continue to receive this upgraded information that is of the highest good, the greatest, most abundant potential. And in this beautiful setting, let your body relax, knowing that it is completely protected. You are in a vibrational state that is raising and raising and raising to a place where the body feels almost weightless, timeless, formless. Feel how nice it is to let go, to allow the body to float and drift, to allow the mind to open and be still, and to allow the heart to blossom like a lotus coming up from the mud in the pond. See your heart opening. Focus on your heart space now. Expand the heart space. Allow loving memories to join you there. Loving thoughts. Let your heart space, your sanctuary of love, continue to expand. Fill it with more and more beauty, more divine love. And as you do, take note of how you're feeling. Is there a sense of peace here? Is there perhaps a hint even of excitement for what is to come? That excitement is important. Passion. The passion to do good, to be good, to align yourself with good. And that sense of childlike delight and wonder as you continue to expand into the heart. See the beauty that's here. As your body rests and becomes something that you don't even notice now, know that it is safe. It is undergoing its own transformation as we continue the journey. Relax. Release. If you can, surrender for a few moments. Surrender to the moment that is the eternal now. That's right. Now you're getting the hang of it. Now you're living in the type of space we live in. No boundaries. Heart coherency. Not just with the people and the feelings and the circumstances that you've brought into this space, but with everyone you're joined with now in this process, and with everyone on your planet, whoever was and ever will be, and everyone in the cosmos. Feel that coherence now. Feel yourself going deeper and deeper and wider in all dimensional aspects of your imagination. And as you do, begin to see off in the distance a little light. At first it's nondescript, a little pinpoint of light. And then it begins to take on more form and come closer, closer. It's brilliant. It's spherical. And if you look more closely at it, you begin to see that it is rotating in the center. That it is constantly vibrating from within, spinning as it comes closer, closer. The closer it comes to you, the more relaxed you feel, the lighter you feel, the better you feel. That's right. Look at the light, and you notice that it is an orb, a beautiful sphere of light, rotating, spinning. And soon it comes very close, and you feel a beautiful sense of love, overwhelming every other sensation around you. Feel that love. And then you have the desire to enter that orb of light. And you realize that the membrane of the orb is easily transversed by your being. You just slip right in. There's no doorway, no window. You just are there in the center, in your position of deep relaxation, floating effortlessly. You realize that this orb is your personal technology. This is where you come to recharge, to recalibrate, to take your peace, to realign. Within the orb, you see yourself lifting. You and the orb lifting off, moving out into a dimensional reality of deep and abiding peace, of beauty. Perhaps you see yourself in deep space, or in a wave of light, or you're under the ocean. Whatever feels good to you, let your orb take you there now. Instantly, effortlessly, most harmoniously. And you feel one with this orb. And you should, because it is your heart turned inside out. It is the other side of the wormhole of love that attaches you to the rest of life. It is your light ship, your time travel machine. It is many technologies in one. And you notice that now that you're in this orb and you're lifting off and moving to a space of deep peace, it's almost as if you feel like you're plugged in. Like you would set one of your mobile devices on a docking station to recharge its battery. And then you look around you and you notice that your light body has tiny filaments coming out of seemingly every place, but especially out of the main chakric areas. There at the bottom of the pelvis, the spine, the sacrum, at the solar plexus, at the heart, at the throat, at the brow, and at the crown of the head. You may even see these filaments coming out of the palms of your hands and the tops or the bottoms of your feet, out of your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. These filaments are all part of your interactive communications equipment with this orb. And the filaments begin to move throughout the dimensions within the orb and connect. And you begin to feel the energy coming into you, clearing, enhancing, rejuvenating, recalibrating, assisting you with your internal wiring, your physical body, in your mental body, in your emotional body, your spiritual body, causal body, all the energy layers of your being are being nourished with this energy. And remember that energy is information, and so the perfect information that you need to assist you with this next step is pouring in through these filaments. It's affecting your cells, affecting your tissues, your bones, your organs, your systems, everything. The highest and greatest good, the most positive way. What the world dishes out to you will be food for this new system. There's nothing to fear. Know that this orb also has its own filament system and attaches to the orb forms of every being. You nourish each other by nourishing yourself. See yourself connected to everyone in your group right now by these tiny filaments of the inverted heart space, your orb, your light ship. Feel their hearts. Coming into coherence now, the highest vibrational state that you can handle. And it feels like bliss. It feels like home. And know that the entire universe, multiverse, infiniverse, both on the macro and the micro level, even the vast universes created and living within each of your atoms, all are connected in this way. And you have access to all of the information and all of the gifts in any one of them, and all of them. And you are the one who can nourish all of them with your feeling state, with your heart, with your thoughts, with your actions. Program yourself now to remember this state, and that anytime you close your eyes for a moment and take a breath, you can return to it and enhance it. And you feed the world, you feed life with it. You become more and more conscious in each and every waking moment and sleeping moment on every level of your being. Take a few moments now to feel the energy that has come into you and to open up to all of the fine-tuning, the rewiring, the upgrading that is happening right now. Be open to it. There's no mistake that you came here today for this. Whether you're listening live or 1,000 years from now, this is happening right now for you. Surrender. Open. Receive.
Feels calming.
And now, having received what you needed, please know that we'll begin our journey back to the group where we will be happy to interact with you. Know that the work will continue because you have agreed.
Well, the work will continue once we kill all the niggers and ching chong people and the Jews for ching chong people.
Yo, Todd, we can be a Nazi duo.
Hey, DebzShakti, bitch. Oh, show me them titties.
Oh no, I joined the family. I get one
I
leg.
just want
I kill myself now because I just have a family. For the niggers, for the niggers.
Amy, yo, when can we go on a date, Amy?
Ay, chicka chong, ching chong.
Ling 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 ling
Ding
ling.
dong, ding ding dong, 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 ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong, ding ping pong ping pong.
Please let this baby that you found on the doghouse. Fucking I want to eat, and you know you love him though.
Ay,
Put us on the news. We don't care. Matter of fact, put this whole video on here. Put it on the article. I don't
oh,
care.
is
Just do
that
it.
Ronda Rousey? Is that Ronda Rousey? Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
allow yourselves now to come back slowly. To know that you can revisit this space, this energy form at any time. This is your technology. Know that nothing can deter you from your greatest good. Let nothing change your path other than your excitement. People will try to knock you off of your course. It's all learning, isn't it? So begin to come back now. Begin to come back to the place where we started. First, that natural setting. Readjust yourself into this third density, but the highest level of it that you can possibly imagine right before you make that jump to the next step. You're almost ready for it, we promise. And then begin to pour that sensation, that love, that happiness, that connection to the divine, to source.
I am a Jew. I don't like.
Into this human being, the person who's most important to the world right now. You, the beloved. Begin to feel your body now. Feel it having landed back in your resting spot. And allow yourself to notice your breath, to stretch your fingers and toes, to wiggle around, yawn, swallow, blink your eyes, and come back. Come back. Come fully back. And we welcome you back. We thank you for your patience. Oh, hello, beautiful souls. Beautiful souls. So you may want to stretch your body a little bit. You may want to take a sip or two of a beverage, especially if it's nice clean water, or some tea, some juice. Feel your body connected to the earth again. Notice how you feel now as opposed to how you felt about an hour ago. And we will open the floor to discussion. Please use the raised hands function. Our partner will take note of any raised hands and allow you to ask a question, which we would be happy to answer. Anyone have any questions? Is there a raised hands function on for the Zoom people? No, there's not. I see heads wagging. If you would like to ask a question, raise your physical hand if you're on video. We'll take you one by one. Jan?
Thank you. Thank you. That was
Unmute
beautiful.
yourself.
Yes. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear
Yes.
you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I had a question. There was a brief point where I was not, I drifted away. And, but you did talk about going toward whatever brings us joy in this, moving forward, and to let go of fear. And I wondered if you could perhaps elaborate on the letting go of fear a little bit, specifically in relation to the pandemic that's going on.
Absolutely. Our first question to you would be, because we're always going to answer you with a question, what are you afraid of? At the depth of it all, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, I do have concerns. There's an event I would like to go to, and I felt that in the group that I was joining, there were some positions of some of the group that I really don't agree with regarding safety and masks. And it made me feel that because I would like to observe safety and precautions, I felt that I might be dividing that group because even though there were other people that wanted to use masks, but if, for example, there were hugging activities or certain chanting that I felt were very irresponsible, I didn't know, and so I thought perhaps maybe the best thing is to not take part.
It's a good question, and you may be speaking about one particular group, but please know there are others who are listening to this right now and who are absolutely having the same conundrum, whether it is for that particular situation or not. Please know that part of the learning and the integration of what is going on now with these energy packets, what you call the virus, is a new way for you to connect interdimensionally, whether you are physically there or not. Now, we know you practice this already, dear one. We know you do. But you will, if you decide that you don't physically wish to go because of the, perhaps the divisiveness or the difference in vibration that you'd be feeling, which would, perhaps cause the outcome of the group coming together in the first place to not happen in the best of ways. Do your practice as if you were there, wherever you choose, where you feel it is safe and comfortable for you. Discernment is so much a different thing than judgment. And each of you has to deal with how you relate to the way these energy packets are moving around the earth and coming into your bodies on a personal level. Some of you feel just fine and you're not concerned about any of it, and you're fine because that's your reality. If your reality is, I have responsibility to other people, I feel fine, but what if I should, you know, be carrying this around and I'm around people who are not prepared physically to take this energy on, then I don't want to do any harm. So that is, it's not a fear thing, it is a loving thing. It's a service thing. If you choose not to go because you don't want to change the energy of the group who, you know, for the most part, don't wish to participate in that kind of discernment, then the whole thing will fall apart. But please know that the group of humans that you're working with and the group of cosmic neighbors that you would be working with there and have worked with there, they'll be nameless, you know who they are. They're going to be working with you in circle, whether you're there physically or not. And we would encourage you and anyone else who decides to do that work remotely, or what we would call non-locally, because you know you can. This is a quantum creation. You can do this in any way. It might feel uncomfortable or a little quirky at first because your heart wants to be there with your friends, right? But your body doesn't feel comfortable being there with your friends in this situation. Be with them in your heart space. Do exactly what we just did with you. If you have to listen to the recording again to get there, do it, and then do the work with them. Remote view them, have an out-of-body experience, and travel to be with them in your light body and do the practice there. And those beings will be more coherent with you in that way than they might be with the group if you were there having those feelings. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, thank you very much.
Only you know what your decision is. And guess what? You never make the wrong decision. You never make a mistake. It's all perfect. Just know that this is where you're going, all of you. All of you are going to be working more and more in light body essence than you are in physical essence. We know you like these bodies. We know you like to hug. It's okay. But right now, for some of you, this will be the way that you do your best work. And this is how you change the world for the better. And we love you and we thank you so much. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We love you. We did want to address something here because there has been a breach. There's been a breach of security where some people came in and were trying to disrupt, and it looks like someone actually has come to the other side already from it. But we want to thank those people because they remind us that not everybody is aligned in the same frequency, and we still have to love them. This is exactly what we were telling you a while ago. Love them until they can't stand to be in the vibration and they leave, or they're so attracted to it that they become coherent. Love them. And thank them for being your great teachers. We thank them for being here today. All right, so there were a couple of other people who had their hands raised. Could you please do that again? Raised hands. Anyone? I'm not seeing it again. David Malley. I'll unmute you. Hello, David.
Hello, Star Teachers. I thank you once again
let me have that opportunity to talk. I have to say, thank you very much for sharing Reiki with us. That is an ideal tool. I just wish it was a cure for this pandemic, coronavirus. But I have this gut inner feeling that this is the window that you guys from above could actually hover over cities that are in chaos, lacking hospital IC beds, lacking equipment, ventilators, you name it. I just picture that a brotherhood could come and hover our city and create a bond with humanity and knocking this virus out, and it just creates such a bond that we open our eyes to love, peace, and harmony worldwide. It has never been established, but it's a foundation of forward move like we've never had, a sharing, a loving, a compassion, nurturing life, treasuring life. Hatred, diseases, control, dictatorship become history. It's just a whole new age, a wave of love and appreciation of life of everyone. Height, size, color, weight, skin, you name it. It's gone. It's history. And I picture that with the beauty that you guys have out there in space, that I just picture numerous tourism occurring. I mean, it's just such a love that, to plan a party coming and you've got intergalactic visitors that are going to partake, and I picture farming far more advanced than what we have established, that we don't even know the fruits that are capable of being grown, what music that you guys and entertainment, we're limited. So with your long existence, I think that it will be definitely an eye-opener and a love that just grows beyond imagination. So I thank you for letting me share this, and that's pretty much it. I get emotional, so
Oh,
I thank you.
we thank you and we love you too, David. And thank you for your comments. We do want to remind you that if you view this thing as something negative that needs to be overcome, it's going to persist as something negative that needs to be overcome. Okay? So remember what we said. It is a technology that needs to be used correctly and received correctly, and that's what we were doing with you today. And now your homework is to take that into the world with you. We're not saying get up on some little soapbox and try to lead a meditation and all that with everyone else and do the same thing. What we're saying is project that, transmit that, transmit that, transmit that. That feeling of being connected and coherent and absolutely okay. And that beautiful vision that you just gave us of what you want your world to be, start living like the world is that now. Start living that way. And as you do, so shall it be. All right? It's very, very easy to, we're sorry, no one can hear you. Our partner's trying to get you unmuted, but it's not happening. Oh. All right.
Okay.
We apologize.
Are we there or not?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know if it was a dream or a heavy thought, but it's the feeling that I need to blend with non-speaking English natives and aliens and elevating them from low poverty to advancing such a level that it creates an open eye for others to realize of how they've accelerated from poverty to happiness and joy, that others realize we want part of that. We want to join that So I don't know if it was a dream or just a thought, but it's something that stays with me continually.
If it stays with you continually, it is your soul showing you your path. And so go do that in whatever way you can. In whatever way you can. If that means sharing your peanut butter and jelly sandwich with some guy on the street who doesn't have one, go ahead and do it. If it means playing a bit of beautiful music for a friend who is depressed at the moment, do that. Share that beautiful vision however you can in every moment that you can, and thus create that beautiful vision into manifestation. Are we communicating?
Definitely. But on a humorous side, I had a person outside the grocery store begging for food. So I went in and got a 5-pound bag or 10-pound bag of potatoes and presented to him, and he just like jaw dropped, not knowing what to do. But it was my style of sharing.
And that's very key. Thank you for saying that. All of you, did you hear what he said? It was his style of sharing. Find the way to serve that is your style. Your style might not be Mother Teresa's style or the Dalai Lama's style or even your spouse's style. Do it the way that you feel it in the moment. Do it with great excitement and joy and absolute unconditional love, and it will be perfect. All right?
Thank you, Star Teachers.
Thank
I
you.
will.
Thank you. All right, we have Jessica. Jessica, did you want to say something? I'll unmute you. Hello, Jessica. Did you have a question? Jessica? All right, she may be elsewhere. Oh, hi, there you are. There you are. Can you turn yourself up? We can't hear you. Hello, Jessica? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Stacy McCardle.
Hi,
Hi, Stacy.
Debs. I have a question. Feel kind of silly asking this, but I'm always so grateful to you and the teachers for these Zoom meetings. And I'm just wondering if there's anything that we can do for the teachers in return, besides being grateful and trying to be our best selves. Do they benefit from us praying for them, or is there anything that comes to mind that we can do to show that we're grateful besides just trying to be better?
Again, follow your heart on that. If you get the inclination that a prayer would be something beneficial, raise up a prayer. Everybody in the whole of creation needs other beings doing for them. No matter how high level they are, no matter how low level they are. Do what makes you feel the best. If you get an inclination to do something on our behalf, absolutely do it. But we'll say, we're perfectly happy how we are, and we are moving along just fine, but we certainly appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for being the person you are. We love you. Veronica, we'll unmute you. Veronica, we can't hear you. Can you turn yourself up? I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Can you try? Try again. Apologies, everyone. We're having trouble. You're unmuted, but can't hear you. If you want to type your question into the chat, it'll be addressed later. We promise. All right, thank you for trying. Anyone else? All right. Well, we are coming up. We have about 15 minutes. Did you want to try again, Veronica? Hang on. Let's see. No? Can you get it? While Veronica's trying, we'll try Jessica again. I'm sorry. Technology. Jessica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Jessica.
Okay, sorry, I took off my earphones.
How can we be of service to you, Jessica?
Thank you. My question was if you could explain to us or speak to us a little regarding the power of suggestion, regarding constructive suggestion and non-constructive suggestion. So I was wondering if you could teach us a little regarding that.
Well, here's the deal. We're going to speak in real terms to you right now, Jessica. We're not sure where the question is coming from as far as, you know, what realm of reality you're talking about, the power of suggestion, whether it's, you know, programming from media or from indoctrination by your society or parental indoctrination or religious or whatever. But what we can say is if you are receiving suggestive material and it's affecting you one way or another, there is something that is resonant with yourself or within yourself with that material. Now, that doesn't mean that you can be controlled by someone else. Heavens no. You have to be in agreement to be controlled by a suggestion, okay?
Mhm.
However, there are ways of becoming or of producing suggestions in your construct where you live right now that are highly effective to people who are not consciously self-aware. So this is the main thing that we're talking about with you today. The calibrations that you've been receiving, the upgrades that you've been receiving, and the verbal cueing that you've been receiving have been to help you understand that the more consciously self-aware you are during your entire life, the more on purpose and aligned with that purpose you're going to be. And please know, you could succumb to a suggestion that doesn't feel very aligned to you, and then you think you've made a mistake and you woe is me, why did I do that? Now I have to go back and make up for what I did, or I have to learn something new. It's all learning. That's all we're all here for anyway. It's all a learning experience, and so you don't need to worry about that. Again, you cannot make a mistake. Everything you do takes you further along your path and brings learning and growth for everyone involved. This is a group effort. This is not you against the world. Remember this. The one main lie in the construct where you live right now or your focus is on in the third density is the us versus them paradigm. Duality. Polarization. There is no such thing. There is no this or that. There is this and that. There is no us versus them. There is only us. There is no me versus you. There just is life. And so whatever you take in, maybe your thoughts or your feelings, your attention is on something else and you succumb to a suggestion. Let's use a really easy example. You have made a promise to yourself that you will not eat McDonald's French fries because they don't resonate with your goals, okay? They knock you off of they're your one chink in your armor. If you start to eat them, you eat them all the time and you can't lose the body fat that you want and you feel sluggish and you don't feel as coherent when you eat them. So you've made that deal with yourself. And then you get bored or you're tired and you don't want to do anything. You just want to do something mindless and you turn on your television set and the first thing you see is an advertisement for McDonald's French fries, and you're probably doing something else while it's on, you're not even paying attention, but the suggestive material comes into the brain, and you might be vacuuming your house while you see that picture, and you're not even paying attention to it, and zing go, you turn off the vacuum, you get in your car, you drive down McDonald's and buy an extra large fry, and you're halfway through it before you go, why? Why did I just do that again? And then you remember you saw that picture. Or maybe you're so unconscious you don't remember even seeing the picture of the fries. Don't despair. Every time you notice yourself having done something like that, succumbing to a non-resonant suggestion, you have just gained more power over it. Until finally, you become more and more conscious of things that are affecting you unconsciously. Pretty soon, they no longer have power over you. And you've learned a very big lesson about how to activate some of your superpowers. The main superpower is conscious, sustained, and balanced self-awareness. Does that make sense?
Yep, sounds about right.
Did we answer your question?
Yes, it was answered. I guess it kind of leads up to the other one where, where you ask yourself, how do I help? When I feel that with that power of suggestion and knowing that that's very effective when you speak to people and as constant as you speak to people,
Yes.
how important that is. And how effective that is to how others and how you say we affect others. I feel that that's a very positive way to be able to help those that we love, which is everybody really.
It
It's
absolutely
by
is.
speaking up for those that, for us, speaking for myself, that tend to shy away of putting a face to a voice,
Yes.
and it's because of that, because you live in the fear because of the suggestion that's been imprinted for so long
Yeah.
into someone.
Here's the key. If you know that you've been imprinted by something or indoctrinated by something, it no longer has very much power over you. And then you make the conscious choice to not let it have power over you, it no longer has power over you.
Yeah.
And then move through your life as if it has no power over you, and it will not have power over you. Okay?
Yep, understood.
You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
for
I
the
love
question.
you so much.
Love you
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
We have a few more. We can go a little longer if people need to, but we'll go in order here. A lot of people are raising their hands now. Rio, we'll take your question, and if you all can keep your questions short, that would be lovely. Hello, Rio. Oh, can you turn yourself up? No, can't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't know why this is happening. It's never happened like this before, where everybody's muted, or well, they're not. You're not muted. It's just low volume. Okay. Well, while you're trying, we want to. Oh, I thought I heard you. No. Real? No. All right. We'll go to Mitzi. We'll try Mitzi, and then we'll come back to you, Rio, or you can put your question in the chat. Mitzi, hello?
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to thank you, Deb, for all these internet, Zoom, and Facebook videos and the time that you take for doing these. So,
Oh, well, thank you, sister. You do the same, you do a lot of work for the world as well. And we would encourage all of you who are light workers, before you leave, to put in the chat if you have things that you can offer the world. You know, please let people know what you do. Certain people may feel really resonant with you, for instance, and want to work with you, or they may want to, you know, read Rupert's book or Larissa's book, or they may want to utilize Jamie's gifts. You know, everyone here has gifts. So if you want to put what you do in the chat and how to contact you, please feel free to do that. And we will publish that chat log with the profanities that got put in there a little while ago, taken out, with the video, the replay. All right? So thank you. Thank you. All right. Jennifer Booker. Jennifer Booker.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, so, you know, we talk about trying to create the world that we want to live in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
How do we kind of stay there and take out the noise of all the fear that's going on right now?
All right. Well, the biggest key is to find what works for you as far as a meditative practice. Remember, meditation isn't just one thing. Meditation, you know you're in meditation when you lose track of time and place. Okay? So, whatever that is to you, and particularly if it's something that you enjoy, that you are excited about, or that makes you feel a deep sense of peace or love that you can do that involves helping someone else, that's also a meditative practice. The more you get into that, the less the volume of the craziness of the world will be apparent to you. Please hear this. All of the craziness in the dimension where you are focused on living right now has always been just as crazy. Always. It's always been chaotic. You've always had this diversity, all of this duality, and all of the control and all of that that's happened now has always happened. Why does it seem more apparent now? Because those of you, for instance, who are on this call have become so awakened, your sensitivities have become heightened, you can't help but notice it more. It's like sensory overload. Okay, so one of the recalibrations that we did, or the calibrations that we did with all of you and that we're doing with all of you constantly now, is to help you be able to handle all of that input, because you are multidimensional, you're infinite dimensional beings just like we are. Soon you will get more and more able to handle that input without it knocking you out of your peace. Okay? And when you can get there more and more and more, in other words, being that boulder in the center of a raging river and just letting the water rush around you without affecting you, maybe it tickles you or massages you instead of turns you into sand. That's when you've conquered the fear of the world, and that's when your world starts to look like the world you want it to look like. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. We love you very much. Thank you. Rio, did you want to try again? We'll try this one more time.
Hi, hello.
Yay.
Hey.
Hello, Rio.
How you doing? My name is Rio Sand on Facebook. I want to ask a short question. How do I protect myself against these evil, higher level extraterrestrial beings that come here? I usually get like these powerful ones because during my awakening, I used to upgrade myself with the high vibrations, eating raw vegan food, watercress, ground and meditation. Then my rainbow auras started admitting like a lot of them, so I could see my auras with my shadow on the wall and stuff. So they don't like the light. They don't like the like when they see it coming in from a house and stuff. And there are other beloved beings that like this stuff. They like congratulations. They know that I'm gonna get in danger stuff. Sometimes they can't be around to help out and stuff. So like, how do we protect ourselves from these negative evil extraterrestrials that come to send their negative evil energy. Because one sent one was looking outside my window, and they sent, I could see the eyes, big eyes and stuff. They sent negative energy at me, and I felt it. But then I laughed at it, but that's not only the only part you can do, you know.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's
really remember what we were talking about a little while ago. There really is no us versus them. There is no good versus evil. Real. There's just life and different oscillations of frequency of energy in life. So what you're having encountered, what you call these evil levels of beings, yeah, I mean, there are different layers of being, right? If you are encountering, this goes back to the question that I believe Jessica was asking about, how do you not succumb to suggestions, you know, or indoctrinations and things like that, that you don't feel resonant with. If you feel like there are beings, whether they're human or otherwise, who are trying to influence you in a negative way, ask yourself, is that a little flag from my soul telling me that there might be something in there that's resonant? Remember, nothing can be in the same space if there's not a resonant frequency. So if these are greedy beings trying to take over your energy or whatever, is there something in yourself that may still be like a little smidgen of that, maybe competitiveness or wanting power, you know, wanting to influence somebody else in a certain way? It might be at this point in your development, dear one, is probably a very, very tiny little speck of something, but it's still a reminder. All they're doing is showing you a picture of what you still have to work on. So rule number one, you said it yourself, you laughed at them. You can use laughter, you can use I love you, no matter who you are or what you are. I give you all my love, and I'm feeling so much love for you right now, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And see them, whether physically or in your mind's eye, as transforming into light. And they cannot exist in your space if they're not resonant with that light. So really, you know, amplify your light, amplify your joy, amplify your love. And one of two things will happen. They're either going to be repelled by it because they're not ready for it. They're not ready to move that far up, and they'll leave your space, or they'll be attracted to it and they'll start to be affected by it. Okay? They will start to be, your light will start to dissolve away the darkness from them, and it will help them. Either way, you can't make the mistake. You're doing beautiful work. And we thank you for asking that question, because it's a big question. It's a question a lot of people have right now. There are human beings on your planet who seem absolutely, utterly evil. And people are always asking us, how can I love them? They're unlovable. And we say to you, they're the ones you need to give love to the most, because they don't have very much left in their tank. Feed the ones who are hungry before you feed the ones who have the food. Okay?
Thank you.
And thank you. And thank you for all the work you're doing with your group there locally. You're doing beautiful work, Rio. Thank you very much.
I just want to say that I seen so much, and I seen the grid lines. I see the hexagons above us. I don't want to touch those, because then the ones who control them will come here, and then they'll get mad at stuff. But yeah, it's very beautiful, and we're not alone.
We're not alone. None of us is alone, and we're all connected. And basically, we all have the same agenda. Some just don't know it yet. But keep doing the good work and have no fear. Come from a place of absolute knowing that there is nothing to fear. All right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We love you. Carrie Campbell? Yes?
Hi, can you hear me?
We hear you, yes.
Okay. Hi, Debs. I just wanted to thank you very much for this session. And I wanted to touch on, I think, what Jennifer had asked about how to keep yourself in the intention of what you want your world to be. And I found that writing an intention journal every single day, besides not watching the news, I write an intention journal every single day, and I write about the same thing every day. How I want my world to be, how loving it is, how, you know, the pandemic is gone, it's been eradicated from Mother Earth. So I don't know if that might resonate with other people, but I'm a writer, so it resonates with me, and it helps me. It keeps me, well, most of the time it keeps me out of the fear. But thank you very much.
Well, we thank you for that, and thank you for your service as a writer. You do nothing but put good things out into the world, and it's been a very tumultuous last couple of years for you, and we thank you for your bravery and your selfless love for the rest of humanity in the world. So, and we highly recommend that. Remember, again, everyone, you have been just given basically a new vessel to move around in today. You are completely different than you were a couple of hours ago. Feed that vessel the proper fuel. We're not just talking about food. Each one of you will have your own way of feeding your physical body what foods you believe are best for it. But do it from a vibration of what makes me feel joyful, what will be the highest good for everyone around me. What am I feeding my mind? When I turn on the news or I look at my phone, am I feeling joyful, happy, aligned, or am I feeling stressed out, angry, pissed off, upset, depressed? There's your sign. Again, become more conscious about all your activities. The minute you notice yourself feeling the way you're feeling, take action. If you're feeling joyful, do more of that. Okay? Promote more of that. If you're feeling afraid, depressed, stressed out, do something the opposite of what you're doing. The intention journal, the gratitude journals, the forgiveness journals, these are great practices. Feed yourself and you feed the world. Do more of that. Thank you so much, and we love you. Veronica? We can try you again, Veronica? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
We do hear you, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, thank you so much for today. The question that I have for you is, I'm sitting here in the hospital with my mother, basically watching her decompose physically, mentally, spiritually. And I understand the soul contract. I understand the learning, the growth on the physical and emotional and spiritual levels. And it is so overwhelming that I feel so disconnected from my own light, which is then also affecting everyone. And my question to you is, which is, I guess, the eternal question of what is the point of such suffering and the cause and effect on everyone around, and what is the point of someone feeling so powerless in spite of understanding that we are the greatest love and light and the change on this planet? If I don't know if that makes sense, but I know you hear me and understand.
Yes. There is
now,
there is one.
Hang on, I cannot hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear? There is no one big reason for why there is suffering, other than it is part of the learning construct in the science lab that is the third dimensional earth life. All human beings came to this laboratory basically to experiment with feelings. And those feelings help you to learn. And it's not just the good feelings. And it may not be apparent to you that the suffering that you're seeing, it seems pointless. Yes,
Yes.
it's not pointless. There is great learning for you, as well as for the person who's going through that journey, as well as for all the people who are giving care to that person in the hospital, for all the family members, for anyone involved. You know, a person walking down the hall of that hospital, seeing you and that mother in the hospital suffering, it affects them. Everything affects everything else. And so there is a purpose for it. There is an alarm going off somewhere. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. There is a purpose for all things.
It's my mother in the hospital,
All
sorry.
right. It's okay. So we understand it's a very difficult place to be right now. And that your frequency feels very low. Your heart feels low because of the sadness and the suffering. It seems pointless. If you could zoom out and see life from the scope of where we see life, you would understand just how perfect and absolutely necessary and absolutely consciously chosen that each of those moments is. It's very hard. Our partner has gone through it many times with loved ones, and it hurts deeply every time. But years go by, and she looks back and sees exactly why it happened and why the feelings were the way they were, and the greatest learnings and the greatest growth and the greatest, dare we say, gifts in this life came from those moments. Hold your mother in light and hold yourself in light, and give as much to yourself as you possibly can during this time, because we know you're tired, and we know that it feels endless, but it is not. Your work with her right now is so important, but it is just a speck. It is a moment, and it will pass. And as it does, you will have one of the most beautiful, beautiful, and inspiring moments of your life with her. We promise you. And thank you for your input, and we send you all the love. We also will want to point out that we have noticed people around the group, as you were talking and we were speaking with you about this situation, we're sending you energy and light, and we will all continue to do so. You may even see or feel all of us there at times with you. You are not alone, and this is nothing to be discouraged about. It is just another experiment for you. Not the most fun, but the greatest one. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. John Lindemeyer. John, did you wish to speak? Oh. Hello, John.
I got a shaky hand, so you got me?
We've got you.
Okay, cool. Anyway, love to Veronica. She's obviously a really sweet person.
Yes.
Let's see. I travel a lot. I've been to 145 countries. This is going to sound like bragging, but I've been to all the countries in the Middle East and so forth. And what I see, honestly, is absolutely at odds to what I see in the media. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And I don't really want to get into it. You know, maybe I'd disagree with some people here or something. I got no desire for that. But do you have any thoughts on that? Or actually, I found that I sort of lost some friends, but I also gained some friends, and they're pretty cool friends too, you know. So anyway.
Thank you for bringing up that perspective, because there are many people on your planet now who have had the good fortune or the courage to travel around the globe and meet other people in other societies. And what they and you just brought this up, have experienced is that most of you are being sold a bill of goods about what's happening in other places in the world, right? People are good, and people are, for the most part, wanting to have the same things that you want to have, to achieve the same things that you want to achieve. Oneness, coherence, brotherhood, camaraderie, fun, abundance, you know, basic needs at least being met. And we know that you have traveled to some societies where people's basic needs are not even being met, and yet they get along just fine, and they are happy, and they enjoy life. It's a difficult life, but it is not the bill of goods that most people are being sold. So what does that tell you? It goes back to, what are you feeding yourself? Are you looking at what your control groups who wish to make money and manipulate society, you know, that's their part of the science experiment. They're not evil, they're just doing their part in this whole continuum to bring contrast and fullness of the experience. But there are those people who want you to believe that there are many enemies that need to be defended against. And now, as was predicted, some of the biggest enemies are soon to be pushed into your face, into your reality, and those enemies do not come from planet Earth. Okay? So what we're saying to you is, don't worry about it too much, because people are waking up at an incredible rate right now, and they're becoming very non-resonant with that information, because they're looking around them and saying, okay, the media just told me, or this pundit just told me, or this government official just told me that that group of people right over there, they're not to be trusted, and they're going to try to break into my house, and they're going to, you know, rape my children, and they're going to steal my food. And yet all they're doing is living life just like you are, for the most part, even if they look different than you. Heaven forbid. So don't worry about it so much. Live from the place of knowing that you are coming from. You know better. And you know that there are some people who are misguided still, not quite awake. Maybe, you know, not making the same decisions you would make, but please know, all of you came into the science lab to work on different parts of the experiment. And all of you are important, and all of you are just as loved and just as equal as the rest. So when you see something that doesn't feel resonant with your soul, with the goodness and the beauty of life that is your soul, bless it. Bless them. Thank them for being a teacher or a message bringer about something that you might even want to look at more closely in life. Send them love. Send them forgiveness if they hurt you or someone else. And then release it. Release them, release it, and move on and do something that is not, do something that is more resonant with your soul. Because the more good you do, the less that is seemingly not good will express itself in your world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And just for what it's worth, of having traveled, I can tell you, if you want to be treated great, go to the country where the people are supposed to be your enemy. Your feet won't touch the ground. Trust me on this. And I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was shot a couple of times. I went over to Vietnam to meet my fellow Vietnam veterans on the other side. My God, it was a love fest. You know, it was absolutely amazing. So, you know, just don't buy, don't buy all this bullshit about all these people that are supposed to be your enemy.
That's
It's
right.
just jive.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. And please let that be your clarion call, everyone. Listen to what this person has to say. It's a great example of just how clouded life can become when you become, oh, how should we say, maybe a little bit lazy about being consciously aware yourselves, okay? Work at it. Pretty soon it won't be work. Pretty soon it'll be like that meditation position that feels much better than your slumped over position. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. We appreciate you and love you so much. All right, we had one other person and then we probably should let everyone go just because we've gone over time, and that would be, is it Maya?
Yes, thank you so much for calling on me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for offering.
Yeah, I'm very activated and have done a lot of the work, and have recently felt called to really be a channel as well and come forth and help support and amplify different movements of the awakening of consciousness. And I found myself in many different roles in that effort. And I was actually recommended here by Costa, who I collaborated with on the harmonic convergence, and Mark Sims. And I'm really just, I have a channel, I have a direct contact with star family and beings already, but I just listened to my heart and that to come here and to receive a transmission from your access point and get a little more clarity, get out of my way in a way, get a little more clarity on what is the most, what's the role that I can be stepping into that is going to be of the highest service at this time.
Thank you, Maya. That's a beautiful question. And you just, actually, you answered your question. But, be the most open, loving channel that you can be. Because being a channel means you are literally letting life flow through you and express in the way that is most positively taken in by the world around you. Okay, so it doesn't mean just sitting and channeling some being for someone or some group. It means being in the state of flow all the time. Follow your highest excitement. We know you've heard that statement before.
Mm-hmm.
Do what feels wonderful to you, and you will be serving the world exactly the way you need to be serving it in every moment. And you also stated something that is super important. Someone else was asking, how do I, increase my sensitivity or my connectivity? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing and all that? The bigger question is, how do I get into that flow state, that meditative state? And our answer to you would be what you said a little while ago: get out of your own way. Okay? Remember, the human brain has two hemispheres, right and left.
Mm-hmm.
The left side of the brain has a very strong function of survival. It's very analytical. It thinks more linearly. It is very organized, and it can be, it's discerning and or judgmental. The right side of the brain is the creative side, the nurturing side. It is also the side that you want to link into to get into the right brainwave frequency to be that open channel, and all of you are.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one who exists on that planet who does not have access to all information in creation. You just don't. Some of you just have forgotten how to do it. And the best way to do it is to just be in a state of flow. Do what feels best to you in each and every moment, and be consciously creating more and more of that flow state. Try to stay out of analysis and trust. We say this often to all of you. Trust with a capital T, that what you're getting is real. The information you're getting is real when it's coming through you in that flow state. No matter how wacky or illogical it may seem, follow that information and you cannot go wrong. It's a perfect navigational system.
Yeah, I was just going to say something's been coming up for me a lot is discernment. Because the getting in our own way can be like the fears that get triggered up, or the stuff we haven't processed fully yet, or some bits and pieces of our shadow or unconscious places, or even just what we're picking up from the field, like you've been talking about, the field of humanity and the density that we're all still trying to transmute together. And so for me, it's like it's been a practice, but sometimes challenging to kind of switch back and into the flow state after I've been knocked out.
Right.
So just tools around that of coming back into joy and into my highest excitement, even meditation or being in nature. I'm curious whether guidance about just kind of coming back in to alignment.
Right. The easiest way, again, is meditation, the type that you will sit with or stick with for a few minutes at a time at least, whether that's walking or playing music or creating art or chanting or whatever. Being as connected to the natural world as you possibly can. When you feel out of alignment, if you can, take a moment or two to go outside and be in nature. Put part of your body on the ground or touch a tree or a living part of the planet. Do breath work of any type, even just consciously saying, I'm breathing in fully and I'm breathing out fully for a few minutes will help you. Even just 30 seconds will get you back to that place. Remember what we did with you today. We got you to a feeling state where you were able to feel a little bit of love or expansiveness through the inverted heart space of your light ship, your orb. Remember that feeling. We've programmed it into your cellular memory. You should be able to access that just by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath. Get there, remember what it felt like, and it will knock you back into center. And the more you do it, the easier it will become and the stronger it will be. Okay?
Yeah, I feel that right now, even very powerfully. Thanks for the remembering of the messages are all about us remembering, right? And I love that.
They really are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we love you so much. Well, everyone, we wish we could stay with you for hours and hours more, but we did promise other people that we would be of service to them today, and so we have to let our partner go as well. We want to remind you of how deeply we love you and how grateful we are for you. Again, we would not exist were it not for you, our future ancestors. You did something no other group of humans ever was able to do. You jumped over the threshold of where you are right now to the next place. And you did it with love, and you did it with consciousness, and you did it with the best intention for all involved. And so we thank you. We will continue to work with you one-on-one and collectively always. And we will turn it back over to our partner now as we say in Lakesh, we are another you. Thank you. Okay, guys. So this is just me. I'm glad it's still recording. Gosh, it's been 2.5 hours. I'm sorry. It went a long time. Thank you to everyone who joined us live, both on Zoom and on Facebook. And there will be, the recording will be converted and then shared with you on many different pages and on my YouTube channel and so forth, on my website, on my pages, on the Star Teachers Facebook page as well, as soon as possible. We did have someone breach our security today and made some written and even some, we can't do anything about the visuals that came up that may have been disturbing. Please don't give it another thought, but we will remove the unseemly remarks out of the chat log, but we will publish that chat log as well because there's a lot of good information in there from the group, and that will be posted with the video. And any of you who couldn't get on for questions, we'll go ahead and answer those questions as well in the chat and then publish that. I did want to let you know that if you didn't spend enough time with the teachers and me today, that tomorrow at noon Central US time, I will be leading a guided meditation through the Souls Into It Master group. If you don't know what that is, you can check out my pages on Facebook or on my website and find out about that. But it's also free, and it'll be noon. It'll be like 20-25 minutes, quick and easy, and it will also be a reinforcement of what we did today. It's also a preparation for a very exciting workshop that I'm going to be offering on August the 15th through Souls Into It, and you can look them up. I'll put links in the video as well so that you can look that page up and look that group up. This workshop is going to be a dual thing. I've never done this before, but the teachers are going to come on, the STAR teachers are going to come on and do the first half, kind of like we did today, only it's going to be quicker and more succinct. The second half, they're going to help me lead a very big quantum hypnosis session for the group so that you can actually meet with, merge with, and remember your gifts, whether that is, your psychic gifts or your creative gifts or your manifestation gifts, your healing gifts, whatever. You're going to do that in this process and bring that back into your life here and change your life and everybody else's life. So that's a really big workshop. That's going to be on the 15th, and I will also post something about that here in the notes of the recording. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about those two things. They're coming up. The meditation is free. The workshop is at a very minimal cost just because it's going through this other group and they have to pay for their costs to run the group. But I'll give you that information later. Please remember, while we are in the pandemic situation, that most of my services, one-on-one or leading groups elsewhere or speaking to conferences or whatever, are on a donation basis. So if you did not get a chance, or maybe you were too shy to ask a question or work on something here in the group today, please go to my website and make an appointment with me. No exchange is too small or too grand, whatever you want. But most of my services, especially these one-on-one services with the teachers and the intuitive services and so forth, are on a donation basis until further notice. So I just thought I'd put that out there for you. I love all of you so much. I'm so grateful that you came today, and I hope to see each and every one of you again very soon. Namaste and in Lakesh. Bye now. Thank you.